So I was at a block party, and this was a couple years back, and someone asked me what I did, and I told them what I did, and he said, well, why do you get to choose what gets published? And I didn't really have, I was taken back at first. It's partly because people read the books that I present. So it's not me driven, it's consumer driven. So if the people stopped buying or reviewers stopped paying attention to the books that we published, I would not be a gatekeeper. So it really, the gatekeeper model where people hold that up as kind of tastemaker is not quite true. It's really just like you're a position in the marketplace. So with the onset of, it started kind of with digital word processing, so anyone can make a document that looked nice. And then what also happened was ebooks, so anyone could put a book up on Amazon, then it didn't cost anything. And digital self-publishing was another factor, so that you could print books cheaply and distribute them, a few at a time. So suddenly there is an explosion of content, and it's all available in the marketplace. So the question then becomes, how do we differentiate ourselves in that world? And how do we become a place where people look for good content? And the other thing with publishing is trying to struggle with the idea that many consumers don't necessarily care or know who the publisher is at all. It's more book or author driven. So this is the world that we're kind of mediating through right now. I was recently interviewed about ebooks on the news. And the first question, the whole concept was, why do ebooks cost so much? That was his question. And I immediately said, well, I don't know about so much. I mean, if we're talking about like the consumer end, like why does a book cost what it is? Why does an ebook cost what it does? Because you're not paying for the physical object or the ebook. That is a very small part of what you're paying for. Sure, the ebook could be as cheap as you want it to be if we delivered you a blank file. That was a package, or a blank book that had nothing in it. But really, the value that publishers add is the value of an editing process, of selection, and a kind of brand, marketing, and design. So you're adding value at every single, position down the way. And in addition, we are distributing the book in a way that is methodical and has actual people's connections, as opposed to just putting a digital file up on the internet. You look to us, we have a power in our brand because people trust us that we will be presenting a certain type of book. And so as long as that keeps working, and we're keeping up with our readers or finding new readers, and our books are selling and being reviewed, like that's how. I mean, we don't ignore the market. Like clearly, we have books that are more successful than others, and we might say, okay, that book, I liked it, but no critic liked it, and 3 people bought it. The next book comes through, like even though I like it, it's going to be questionable whether I should publish it or not. So there are market forces in general, but there are also, when it goes beyond the consumer, that goes on to our supporters and people and institutions and governments who believe that what we do and what we publish is valuable, not only now in the current marketplace, but it will be valuable, decades into the future. And so they feel is something to support, and I have to make sure I'm thinking about not just people today, but people tomorrow, and the demographics of the future and the reader of the future.